Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite online business podcast. If you are tuning in, listening, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, June 29th, and I'm getting on a plane. Lex and I are heading to Gstaad, Switzerland today to watch beach volleyball in the mountains. Literally the best. We went last year for the first time, and we loved it, so we're going back with friends. If you're watching this right now, you see Rupert's here on the desk. We're going to put him down there. So I want to jump right into today's episode, right into today's topic, which is I can't believe I actually did that, or I can't believe I ever did that. And we're drawing full inspiration from a recent Eat, Train, Prosper episode that I recently listened to. So Brian and Aaron are the hosts of that podcast, Eat, Train, Prosper. They were talking about their careers and the events along the way, and the things they did when they were first starting out. And at one point, Brian was listing out the things that younger Brian had done when he was first. He had a brick and mortar gym, and he was listing out the things that he did to get this gym started and what it was like in the early days. And I was like, yes. That's an episode topic. So here we are. So actually, I'm realizing right now, I said that I'm on a plane. Clearly, I'm not recording this from the plane. I am recording this beforehand, but the day that you're listening to it, I am going to be on a plane. But there is something to be said, in my opinion, about the nostalgia that we have for the past. And the fact that, I think we can use the things we did in the past as evidence for what could be possible in the future. Perhaps thinking of the past, your past actions or the actions of past you, right? And sharing them. That could also be helpful. And this is largely why I'm doing it as well. It could be helpful for folks who are just starting out on their journey, just like give them a little bit of a heads up as like what they might expect, right? But I'm excited for this episode. And just to travel back in time a little bit. And hopefully you do the same and you think back on past you. But when I was outlining this episode, I was reminded of the line from Toby Keith's song. Also, like, fuck that guy, because I'm pretty sure he's like pretty terrible. But let's just focus on the lyrics. And the lyrics are, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. No, I am not sure. And by not sure, I mean, I know I couldn't do exactly what I did before, but I could do similar things in different ways. Rupert is having a day. I could do similar things in different ways. All right. So, I was reminiscing the other day, actually, with Allison, my mentor. I brought her on the podcast. Love Allison. Biggest love for Allison. We were just reminiscing, and I actually just messaged her because I was going through videos and I was on Rock Tape YouTube channel, and like I have videos on there. It's like I'm the main person on it. I was just texting her and just being like, working at Rock Tape, it was so special, and working during that time, it was so special. We're just kind of going back and forth. And then she texted me the next day because she was having lunch with two former Rock Tape colleagues. And she said, we were wondering if you were available for a 3-day speaking tour. Right? And of course, I was like, new phone, who this? Right? But I did those 3-day speaking tours like 3 weeks out of the month, right? I would teach an 8-hour course. I would drop into a CrossFit class wherever I was in the country. I'd get dinner on the road. I'd drive 2 hours to the next city so I could do it all again the next day. Now, mind you, I get there and have to figure out where all the stuff that had been sent there. They would send all the tape and the tools. They'd send it ahead of time. I had to go find where it was, and just it was a lot. Right? The thought of doing that now, throw me in the road. Immediately just throw me in the road. Right? But when I was younger, right, even before I had that job, right, I wanted a job where I could fly on planes and stay in hotels, and I got that job, even as a PT, because I was like, a PT, how am I going to get that job? How am I going to be on planes and flying and staying in hotels? Got it. I traveled all over the world with Rock Tape and basically lived out of a suitcase. And at one point, I remember I woke up one morning and I literally didn't know what state I was in, right? I wasn't drunk or anything like that. I was just traveling like crazy. And I woke up and I was like, where am I? What state am I in? Am I home? What's going on? But honestly, all of that travel that I did was a hugely welcome change from what I was doing before, which was being a traditional staff PT in a high volume clinic in New York City. All right. Sometimes I was seeing 20 to 24 patients a day. I was treating. Just in general, I was treating. All right. I was working through lunch. I was staying late to do notes by hand. What? I'm old. Right? We had computers towards the end, but like a lot of it was written. Ridiculous, right? I would go home. I was taking an 8 p.m. CrossFit class. Like the fact that they even offered that, crazy to me. But I was taking an 8 p.m. CrossFit class. I met one of my best friends, Anthony. He was the coach of those classes. But because that was all that fit into my schedule. Rupert on one, you can see him. Right? I was commuting with connecting trains in order to get to work. I managed to run 2 marathons in that time. Sub 4 hours. Slow for some people, fast for others. I was proud. 3:55:51. Right? And I actually, when I finished this the second time, I was like, I could run an ultra. I was like, I don't think I could run faster and like run a marathon faster, but I think I could run longer. And I was looking into ultras and I was really into it. But instead, I got really into CrossFit, hence the 8 p.m. CrossFit classes. And I went and did that. Right? I dove real deep into CrossFit. But it was what I needed to be doing at the time. Right? Going through and doing all that stuff, it was what I needed to be doing. And then before that, there was grad school, which admittedly was not as hard as I thought it should be. But fuck, I was living in New York City and I 100% could not do that now. Right? I could not do that now. No way. Before that, college. Fucking organic chemistry. Couldn't do it then, not gonna lie. Couldn't do it now. And playing Division I soccer. Fitness tests in the DC summer heat. I'd practice all the time early in the morning. I remember sleeping for like 2 hours. I've always been a night owl. I stay up to do work. I remember sleeping for like 2 hours one night because I was studying and working and then having to get up the next morning and go to practice. It wasn't like, okay, get up and sit at the desk. Like, get up and go to fucking practice. Right? I took a biology test one time on the road in a conference room at a hotel. What? Immediately no. And before that, high school. High school was honestly a good time. I enjoyed high school. But fucking hell, the studying. Right? I was super fortunate. I had my own phone line in high school, and it ended in 1827. I remember because of the pattern that it made on the phone. I don't remember the rest of the number, but I remember that part. And one of my good friends, Karen Jan, she had a phone line, and we would call each other just to make sure that we hadn't fallen asleep and we were still studying. Immediately, no. I can't believe I did that. Super late nighters were absolutely a thing, yes, even in high school. And what wasn't a thing was autosave on the family compact Presario computer. And I 100% remember writing a paper and the computer froze and it shut off like halfway through me writing that paper. There was no restore. It was just gone. It was like 2 a.m. But yes, I handed that paper in on time. I look back at these things with fondness. And while part of me says, I can't believe I ever did that, or I can't believe I actually did that, another part of me is definitely like, fuck yeah, I did that. I am a realist, so, I don't be reminiscing about things and thinking I still got it and, I could throw a football over those mountains, right? Name that movie. I bet I could throw a football over that mountain. Name that movie. Right? But part of me is definitely like, fuck yeah, I did that. And, I did whatever I had to do. You see his tail? You folks are watching? This guy is having a day. But like I was saying, the part of me that looks back on all of this and is like, fuck yeah, I did this. That part of me also feels like I know that moving forward, I can do whatever I have to do to make it work, whatever that thing is that I'm going after, right? So, you folks know I'm doing tactics programming right now, and it's very CrossFit-esque, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. But also, I do it at 10 a.m. I'm not doing it at 8 p.m. I'm not doing it at 6 a.m. I'm not doing it at 5 a.m. I do it at 10 a.m. Although I will say, even just most recently, last year, 2 years ago, I was taking volleyball at 6:30 in the morning and was doing that twice a week. It's the fucking worst. We moved it to 7. It's so much better. I was taking it at 6:30 through the winter, freezing cold. And I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But also, fuck yeah, I did that. I did what I had to do to get it done and to get what I wanted, right? To get what I wanted out of it. Right? But I like I was saying, I'm doing tactics programming. I do it at 10 a.m. And, now it's basically exclusively dumbbells. I don't even use a barbell. I have a barbell. I use a barbell for deadlifts. I use the leg press instead of doing squats. Right? But I can push it. And I'm super consistent, and I'm getting 5 workouts in a week. Right? I could not hit a D1 preseason practice or fitness test. I'm not trying to do that. But I can play beach volleyball 3 times a week. Right? I do plyometric sessions. I do the sport-specific training for this. I can't do the exact same things that I did before, but those things that I did before, they definitely prepared me and helped me to do what I want to do now. And I can look back on that and be like, yeah, I will do what it takes to get what I'm looking for. Right? I honestly still do pull all-nighters when I need. And I don't ever see that changing. I do less of them. And it's like the next day, I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. and play soccer. Right? But I will pull an all-nighter and then wake up the next morning and do stuff. But, I'm a night owl through and through, which is why I don't think it's going to change. That's like circadian shit. Right? But what it does mean is that I will always get my shit done. No matter what. That email will go out. That podcast episode will go up. The project will get finished no matter what. Unless I'm in the hospital. And even then, I'm like, maybe I can figure it away. Right? I will never take a red eye. But I'm comfortable as fuck. This is like kind of switching topics, but I will never take a red eye. But I'm comfortable as fuck with travel, and it's kind of bringing it full circle with this episode, because right now I'm actually going to be on a flight to, when you listen to this, I'll be on a flight with Lex. But I'm comfortable as fuck with travel, which I am going to tally as a W. I'm going to tally it as a win, because if you ever go to the airport, it seems like for 98% of the people there, it's their first time traveling to the airport, right? Ever, right? I am most certainly not going to be doing a 3-day speaking tour immediately, no. But I can put a presentation together in like 20 minutes. Wow. Thank you, Rupert. I can put a presentation together in 20 minutes. 20 minutes or less. Right? Less if I've talked about it before. I fear no audience size, right? I'm so comfortable with speaking. I am so comfortable with running a room. Doesn't matter if it's, you do a virtual thing, you put me in person. Because of those past things that I did. That 3-day tour that like literally prepared me for anything. Oh, it's a taping course for 60 people and no tape showed up? All right, we got this. All right, all of those things that make you say, I can't believe I ever did that. I can't believe I actually did that. They have prepared you, in my opinion, to do so much now. Yes, new things take effort. Right? And it's only when folks are done reaping the benefits of grinding that they preach about balance and, they talk shit about grind culture. Right. So for those of you that may be just starting something, you're starting something new, like whatever that thing is, prepare to work and prepare to grind. That is the thing. Absolutely. But what I hope you take away from this episode is realizing that the things that you gave so much effort to in the past absolutely prepared you to give effort to new things in the present. Right. Just probably in a different way. Right. So homework, I'm assigning you homework. Homework for you, but not the shitty homework that we used to get. Homework for you, a fun one, simple one. Think about the past. Think about the things that you used to do. Side note, if one of those past things or even present things, if you're a mom and you raise kids, you win. You win the game. You could do anything. All right, but think about the things that you used to do and celebrate those things. And then if you need, think about how all of those things can absolutely help you accomplish whatever it is that you're going after now. All right. That is all I got for you. I got to hop on my flight. Just kidding. Because clearly I recorded this a week ago. I recorded a bunch, man. 6 episodes in like 2 days. We're prepared. The past prepared me for this. All right. So you go do your homework. As always, endlessly, one more time, endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. Until next time, friends, Maestro out.